Meat's back on the menu, boys. Welcome in to the Bro 4 Squad podcast, where we are just a bunch of bros drinking beer and talking movies. This is episode 231, and I am your host, the Mayor, Jeff Hornacek. Thank you guys so much for checking us out. We have a special tribute episode tonight. We'll get into that in just a second. Before we do, let's go around and meet my fellow bros on the pod. We begin with the American hero, Nate Thurman. Now, Nate, we have discussed this at length because it's very important, but you know I have an affinity for eggnog. And since we're around the holiday season, can you go on the record and state what is the best liquor to mix with it?
Yeah, it's a no-brainer. It's bourbon. That's going to be my go-to choice. I mean, any whiskey, really, but bourbon would be what I would go with. I know a lot of people, Banner included, are rum people in the eggnog, which I know is very popular, but man, you just got to get that bite of that bourbon. And I think the bourbon, if you can get a nice one that's kind of caramely or has a little sweetness, it adds a little to the eggnog, which you can get some rums that way too. But yeah, bourbon is my go-to.
I've been having an issue. I cannot get my eggnog cold enough. Like, obviously you can't put it in the freezer because it'll curdle and freeze up.
Yeah.
But I need it like a little bit colder. And you can't put ice in it either because it's dairy. So I'm running into a bit of a problem here. We got to figure this out.
You got whiskey stones? That might work.
That might be the move, actually.
Yeah.
Well, chiming in as any mad scientist would with a great scientific solution, that is Brian Banner.
Now, Banner, solve problems.
We're in the. You also, it's funny because you create just as many as you solve, so it's like a net.
That is true.
Hey, coming out net zero is fine with me.
It's like when Draymond Green breaks up a fight. It's like, well, yeah, but you're going to start one in 5 seconds, so you're not really helping anything.
Doing
Brian,
God's work.
We're in the throes of the Christmas decorating season, and you do have a reputation for basically having like Christmas with the cranks level yard decoration. So I got to ask, what is going up this year? Do we have a new addition to the yard? And are the Christmas dinosaurs still kicking, or have we lost one or two of them?
Yeah, a few dinosaurs unfortunately have gone extinct. But we have a new Cretaceous period starting. So we've got a few replacements out there. We've got a dragon too. Spoiler alert. Pretty excited about the dragon this year.
I got to ask, so it is still Christmas themed, right? You don't just have like an inflatable dragon up in your yard.
I mean, is Nightmare Before Christmas a Halloween movie or a Christmas movie?
It's funny. I was telling my students about the debate you and I had about this movie because two of them were having the same argument, and I was like, I don't even know which side I'm on. I just know
it's a fucking Christmas movie.
It's a different.
That's my opinion.
It's a different side from Banner is all that I know.
Yeah.
Did you tell your kids that? Yeah, whatever side Banner's on, I'm on the opposite side.
Yes, I was like, we can't agree because then it's over, and no one wants that.
I mean, it's a Christmas movie. It is a movie about Christmas getting stolen.
Oh, it'll be war in the Middle East or peace in the Middle East before we agree on this. I think we can all settle into that.
That's how we all want it.
All right, well, here on the Bro 4 Squad podcast, we start every episode off with the most important thing in any bro's life, and that is Chest Day. And our Chest Day topic today, if you could tell from the title of this episode, it is Movie Jeopardy 5. Hard to believe we've been doing this 5 consecutive years in honor of the late Alex Trebek, who anniversary of his passing, I believe, is November 8th.
He's been dead 5 years?
No. This is the 5th one. He died in 2020.
He's been dead for 4 years? Holy crap. I didn't realize it had been that,
So how is this the 5th one, then? Did we do this before he died?
I think we've done one
20, 21, 22, 23, 24.
Okay, that's 5 fingers. You're right. We're just...
That's 5. Yeah.
We're just not good at math. If Alex Trebek were alive, he'd be roasting us for our incompetent math.
Actually, I think you got it wrong. It's what is 5 years?
What is 5 years?
But clearly we don't know, so that's a very fair question. So Movie Jeopardy 5, go back and check our first 4. Basically, we play Jeopardy, all movie themed, and there is something at stake for the bros who are competing. So tonight I will be hosting. We will have Thurmond and Banner competing against one another. And Thurmond, since I believe you are the reigning champion, why don't you tell people the results last time when you defeated Ronnie Cycli and his quote-unquote punishment, although you were very kind. I think you actually... You could have been harsh and you weren't. And then I assume we're playing for the same exact stakes tonight.
Yeah. So last year when I took down Cycli, the bet on the line was the winner got to assign the loser a movie of their own choice to watch and then do a review on. I'm glad Cycly didn't win because he would have definitely gone horror genre, which I'm not a fan of, and I would have suffered through it. But I went a little light and just assigned him RRR because I think it's a really fun and great movie, and I want more people to watch it. It is 3 hours long. It's usually a two-parter, but to his credit, he took it to heart. He watched it and he wrote really kind of a hell of a essay style review on it. So if you have the chance, go back and find that in the pod and listen to that one.
Cycly took it very seriously.
Yeah.
He took it way more seriously than I'm going to take it when I lose.
Well, I mean, he took it more seriously than like I took assignments when I was in school, even college. Yeah. So I respect
it. Feels. I'm sure there's like some weird nostalgia to it. Like you go back and you're like, well, I feel like I'm a more mature adult now. I'm smarter, quote unquote. I think I can give this a better effort. So he probably put a little extra chutzpah into it.
Yeah, and especially now, like we're not writing. I mean, I'm assuming unless you guys do it for fun, we're not like writing essays very frequently. So we still, I think we have a little more stamina in the tank to.
For sure.
Look, you've seen our squad blog. That's how often we're writing.
Actually, I just wrote shower beer number 30 yesterday. So go check it out.
There we go.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, I'm sharing my screen with you guys, and I will make this the picture on our YouTube episode version of this. So the board is about to be unveiled. We have 3 categories, each with $100 to $500 questions in there. I tried to make them more difficult as normal Jeopardy would be as you get a higher dollar amount. We also have a final Jeopardy question where the 2 bros will wager an amount of money that they have on it. And we've decided, because the answer to it is a number, one of the bros will win. It will be whoever gets closest. And we're not playing Price is Right rules, but we'll explain that when we get to Final Jeopardy. One other thing I just want to clarify with you guys. Thurman obviously is the Jeopardy head, but standard Jeopardy rules, of course, if one person misses a question, the other person, if they have not buzzed in, they get a chance to steal. I think because we don't have a buzzer, we'll just alternate turns here. But do you guys still want to play? If one of you gets it wrong, the other one gets a chance to steal the question.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of course. Of course.
Yeah, makes it more fun.
I ain't no bitch.
Okay. All right. I have in my head a member of the Oklahoma City Thunder. So to see who gets to go first, why don't you guys take turns trying to guess who it is, and whoever gets it right first gets to go first. Do you guys want to do snake draft order, like Nate goes and then Banner, you get to go twice, or just want to alternate? Do you not really care?
It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, back and forth. It's easy.
Okay. Nate, why don't you go first?
J-Dub.
Not J-Dub.
Cason Wallace.
Not Cason Wallace. Thurmond.
J. Will.
Yes, J. Will was the one I was thinking of. The Jalen Williams from Arkansas.
I was going to start off with those 2, and hopefully it's one of those.
Now, I don't think you got it right because you didn't say what is J. Will.
Jeopardy has not started yet.
So yes, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay, now Jeopardy is about to start. Our 3 categories, each with a question ranging from $100 to $500. We have comedy movie quotes. Well, we're pretty self-explanatory. I will give you a quote from a comedy movie, and you have to tell me what the film is. Then we have We Like Sports. Those are sports movies. And then Christmas movies. Those are romantic comedies. No, I'm kidding. They're Christmas movies.
I thought it might be like a mix.
Yeah, like, I mean, it honestly didn't throw.
Set at Christmas. I was like, there's probably plenty of them out there.
Yeah. Well, I guess like Serendipity, technically one of our favorites. Yeah. Isn't that Christmas centric?
It's over a couple years, but yeah,
Christmas adjacent.
Yeah, especially the beginning of it is right at Christmas. Yeah.
Nice. All right, Nate, you are up. The board is yours. Where would you like to begin?
Let's. I don't want to embarrass myself early. Let's go to comedy quotes for 2.
Comedy quotes for 2. What movie has us wanting to bust a move with the quote, "I saw you on the dance floor, Jeremy. You look pretty good."
Come on. What is Wedding Crashers?
Yes, and it was so hard for me not to do the walk-in. Jeremy, I saw you on the dance floor. You look pretty good.
Yeah, you've got to kind of rein that back so you don't give too many hints during these things. That was good.
He kicks Owen Wilson's feet so hard under the table.
The little scuffle at the bottom.
Like it was more the booze dancing than anything. I guess I was just in the zone.
All
right, Nate's up 200-0. Broccoli, which is what Banner has requested to be called for some reason. Actually, the broccoli's hair in the image kind of looks like your hair when you like let it out of the ponytail.
Yeah, I can see that.
A little wild.
Yeah. All right, Banner, where do you want to go?
Let's go Christmas movies 500.
Christmas for 5. In Jingle All the Way, what is the contest on the radio that Arnold Schwarzenegger's character Howard attempts to complete to win a Turbo Man doll? So what is he asked to do to win the contest?
Fuck.
Can you see the timer?
Isn't it a something with like an Elmo?
6 seconds.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah, that's my final answer. That's not
That
right.
is not correct. Nate, do you have an idea or a guess to steal here?
I will take a guess. I don't think I'm going to get it right. But my guess is to sing a Christmas carol.
Ooh, very close.
Oh, wow.
He is asked to name all of Santa's.
Oh.
Dang.
Okay.
That's how he says it as he's jogging to the radio station.
Nice. That was a good one.
That was, I feel like, a good 500.
Yeah, that was definitely a good 500.
Yeah. All right, Nate, board is back to you.
Let's go Christmas 4.
Christmas movies for 400. What Christmas movie features an incredibly underrated dog named Max, who should have been Employee of the Month for all 12 months, in my opinion?
What is The Grinch Who Stole Christmas?
That is correct.
Mhm.
Max! Super under. Max works holidays without getting overtime pay, never complains. Although I do think he stole someone's food from the break room once.
Their name wasn't on it though.
Yeah, not labeled.
But he knows it's not his.
He's like, it's not labeled, and I don't have thumbs to write things, so maybe it's mine.
Sorry, I'm not sorry. All right, Banner, you're down 600 to nothing, but it's very early, and of course, Final Jeopardy could definitely even the playing field. So where do you want to go here?
Let's go. We like sports 300.
We like sports for 3. In the documentary Space Jam, who is the official who tosses up the ball between the Monstars and the Toon Squad? So who is the referee in the game?
How the fuck can I not remember this? It's not Bill Murray.
No.
It's not Wayne Knight.
Nate, do you know if he can't get it?
I have a guess, but I feel strong about this guess, but I still feel like I'm wrong.
All right, Banner, we need a guess. Hello?
I'm thinking about it.
No, you can't do this. I need a guess right now. In 3, 2, 1.
I yield. I pass.
All right, Nate.
Punt. Fuck.
It's not Bill Murray, is it? Or who is Bill Murray?
It is not Bill Murray. It is Marvin the Martian.
Dang it. I was like,
team's good luck. And then he gets like punched in the face.
Yeah, I was like, Murray's like on the team.
Yeah, he
But
shows
like,
up.
for some reason that stuck in my head.
Maybe that was a little too hard for a 300.
No.
I'm just stupid. That's all.
Yeah.
All right, Nate, back to you. Up 600 to nothing, and we have 4 taken so far. So we still have a couple 500s and some easier ones too. Where would you like to go?
Yeah, let's go Christmas for 100.
Christmas for 100. What is the name of the main character played by Macaulay Culkin in Home Alone?
What is Kevin McAllister?
You are correct.
Bingo.
Kevin McAllister.
What's his middle name? You didn't say his middle name.
Bingo, bongo.
He's like Sting. He doesn't have one.
Thank you. Yes, Jeff. You got it.
All right, the Potatoes, a.k.a. Nate Thurman, are up 700 to nothing on Banner. Banner, I feel like you're going to get on the board here, though. Where would you like to go?
Let's go sports 100. We just need a win here.
Yeah, you need to see the ball go through the hoop. Get some momentum going. All right, Banner, in the movie Rookie of the Year, how does Henry Rowan Gardner initially break his left arm, giving him insane pitching velocity?
He slips on a baseball.
You are correct. He slips on a baseball near the mound in a Little League game, which I can't remember. Was it like an extra ball that they threw out there? Like, how does this dumbass not see the ball that they always toss out to the mound?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's a great question.
Kids these days, you know?
I don't know the specifics.
Idiots. All right, 700 to 100. Nate Thurman is in the lead, and it is his board. Where would you like to go?
We're going to go Christmas movies 300.
Christmas movies for 3. Who plays the lead female character in Elf?
Who is Zoe Deschanel?
You are correct. Nowadays, kind of seems like an odd choice of a role for her. She's blonde in the movie, which always kind of freaks me out.
Yeah.
All right, Nate is up $1,000 to $100, but Banner always likes to play from behind. We know this. Banner, where would you like to go?
Let's go sports 400.
Woo! Pump the heat. Sports for 4. A lot of us lost money on Shane Falco's last college football game in the movie The Replacements. What bowl game did he fuck up in costing us a ton of money?
It was the Sugar Bowl, if I'm not
You
mistaken.
are correct.
Wow.
Lost a lot of money in that Sugar Bowl of yours, Shane.
Yep.
Dipshit.
Yep.
Nice,
still
Banner.
running from the bookie from that.
Yeah, Banner had a
Nice.
ton of props on that game. That was really clutch. That was big.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I needed that 400.
Yeah, couldn't let this thing get away. Now you put a little bit of pressure here on Nate. All right, Nate, you're up 1,000 to 500. Banner put a nice little chunk into that lead. Where would you like to go?
Let's do We Like Sports for 200.
We like sports for 2. In the movie Eddie, Whoopi Goldberg plays the titular character who is a super fan turned coach for what NBA team?
Okay, let me see here.
She's a fan who wins a contest and then gets to coach the team, which of course happens all the time. It is a real NBA team, I'll say that.
Yeah, I don't know, so I'm just trying to think if I can figure out anything. Who are the Celtics?
No, Brian.
Yeah.
Would you like to try to steal?
Who are the New York Knickerbockers?
Yes, that is correct.
All right, here we
New York
go.
Connects. We got a ball game, folks.
Here we go.
1,000 to 700. Nate Thurman is in the lead, but it is Brian Banner's board. A lot of B's right there. Brian, where would you like to go? We got one left in Christmas movies, one in sports, and then comedy movie quotes. Which I feel
Let's
like
do
Imogen.
let's do comedy quotes 100.
All right, comedy quotes for 100. What movie features the quote, "You're my boy, Blue"?
That would be Old School.
Correct. All right, 1,000 to 800. Nate is in the lead. He has control of the board.
Let's go comedy for 500.
Woo! Comedy for 5.
Let's see what it's
movie
like.
remake of an 80s TV show features the line, what do they say about a covalent bond at this school?
What movie remake? Oh, what is 21 Jump Street?
Yes.
Damn it! I knew that one. I knew it.
Finally, I didn't know it at the beginning. I was like, oh, found it.
Channing Tatum goes, I know everything. I don't think we know everything. What do they say about a covalent bond at this school?
Nice.
That was big. You need to stem off a little bit of this beta
Yeah.
momentum here.
Okay.
All right, Brian, you're down 1,500 to 800. Still wide open, especially.
Let's do sports 500. Let's close it out.
Sports for 5. Last sports one. In the movie Invincible, Mark Wahlberg plays real-life Vince Papale. What NFL team does Vince Papale try out for?
The Philadelphia Phillies? Not the Phillies, the fucking Eagles. That's the wrong sport.
Thurman, will we allow him to change his answer?
Yeah. No, that was a slip of the tongue. Yeah.
Yes.
I know he would not think the Phillies played football.
No, that's just the pregame festivities I did before the pod.
Okay.
Yeah,
Perfect.
talking.
Yes.
No.
The Philadelphia Eagles. I gotta be honest. I think Invincible is a shit movie. It's pretty.
I did not like it personally.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
All right. This is what the people want. Great for ratings.
This is good.
Thurman's up 1,500 to
good.
1,300. He is up. There are 3 category or questions left on the board. Thurman, where would you like to go?
All right, let's try and get some distance. We'll go comedy for 400.
Love it. Comedy for 4. What film features the quote, "Do you know this guy named Jimmy? You totally look like his brother, man. You totally do."
What is super bad?
You are correct.
Mm.
I always thought it was funny. He didn't say you look like Jimmy, but his brother.
Your brother.
Like, why do you reference the guy that way? It's just weird. All right, 1,900 to 1,300. So, Banner, you will need a little Final Jeopardy to win this one, but you're definitely within striking distance here.
Let's go Christmas 200.
Christmas for 2. In The Santa Claus, what is the job of Charlie's soon-to-be stepfather, Neil?
He's a psychologist.
He is. Or a
Nice.
therapist, yeah.
Yeah.
Neil listens to my problems. Yeah, and then he charges you for
He
it.
charges you for it.
Does it make you want to lash out irrationally? Where did you hear that? All right, Nate, all that's left is comedy movie quotes for 300. You are currently
get
at
it.
900 to 1,500. Here it is. What early 2000s comedy features the legendary back and forth line, "How dare you bring up my sister? She's been through a lot." Pause. Of dick.
What is the breakup?
Yes, maybe the hardest I've laughed in a movie theater since Wedding Crashers during the flag football scene.
Yeah.
It's such a good fucking movie. Like, I want to say it's underrated, but is it?
I still feel like it is like a little underrated.
I mean, I don't know. We can get into like overall comedy performances, but I have a hard time thinking off the top of my head of a comedy performance better than Vince Vaughn in The Breakup. If you just break
Like
down
it's like Wedding Crashers is obviously one of my favorite comedies of all time. It's up there with that. I mean,
hell yeah.
It's neck and neck.
I mean, he has a tour de force in that. Something to be reckoned with.
Man.
All right, Nate, you're up 2,200 to 1,500. Why don't you guys text me your wagers, and then I will enter them into the little schematics here. So obviously not in the group text that we have, unless you just really want the other person to see.
Yeah. Okay.
Remember, one of you will get this right. Banner, when you sent me your wager, I saw the ridiculous last video that you sent me, which was that guy getting his haircut, and it looks like a blue slushy.
Yep, I knew. I was like, he never responded to me on that. I was gonna bring it up. I'm a little disappointed.
I probably lost my faith in humanity, so I had to take a beat.
Okay.
He made like a fucking margarita in his head.
All right, so we got our two wagers here. Nate Thurmond has wagered $801.
What a bitch.
And Brian Banner said he wants to wager all of it.
See, because I know Banner and I knew he was going to wager all of it.
You didn't finish what my wager was.
Okay, he said, all of it, I ain't no bitch.
Thank you.
Okay.
So, if basically whoever gets it right wins.
Mm-hmm.
At this point. All right. Here is the question. And I guess the best way to do this is maybe have you text me your answers as well.
Yeah. Okay.
Counting Freddy versus Jason.
Oh, God.
How many Friday the 13th movies are there? Now, you can go over. You just have to be the closest. And I don't have a double tiebreaker, so if you tie, we're just going to say you both get it right.
Okay.
I got Nate's answer. Banner, I need yours.
Sorry.
Banner's trying to watch all of them.
I got through at least half of them.
Okay, Nate said 9. Banner said 11. Well, the correct... Yeah, so if it's 10, we're fucked. Fortunately, it is not. I can say that. The correct answer is 12.
Good. Oh.
Yes! Oh, yeah!
Brian
Took
Banner.
down the champ. Come from fucking behind.
I don't know what the screen is going to say. That's wrong, because Brian won. Hell of a match, boys.
Man, that's man, that's unfortunate, but it was a great matchup.
I wanted to say 15, but that felt too far, so I brought it down.
Yeah, I definitely looked them up and had to count them.
After I sent it, I was like, I should have probably gone higher just because anything above mine is probably going to lose.
So there was 10 in the original run, and then there was Freddy vs. Jason, and then there was a reboot in, I think, 2007.
Man.
Which
nice.
In the original one was the one like Freddy from space or whatever, right?
Yeah, I think it ended with Jason X, where he's like,
that's right,
cryogenically frozen, and it's 300 years in the future, and he kills like everyone on the spaceship. That old ditty.
So,
all right, well, it's a traveling trophy, so we'll have to move it from Nate Thurman's house to Brian Banner's.
Yeah,
so
I'll bring it up for Thanksgiving.
All right, how long do I have to decide a movie? Like a week?
Yeah, Nate, is that about how long you took? I mean, I think you kind of already had one in mind.
Yeah. A week. We'll give you a week.
All right, give me a week.
Got to do some digging.
Sure.
Well, there's just so many options.
There are, yes.
There are quite a few movies out there.
There are at least 10, right?
I think.
last I checked.
Maybe.
All
I
right,
mean,
great
I know
match.
there's at least 12 because that's how many Friday the 13th movies there are.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Oh, damn, good point. Good point.
All
All right, that brings us to the second part of our show, our protein shake, where we
Let's recover here.
Yeah, for real. It's a heavy lift. Talk about what's in our cup, also known as what have we watched lately. I have 4 things that I would like to talk about at some point. Now, actually, before I even get into it, have both of you guys finished Agatha All Along?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh,
perfect. Yeah. That's one of my things. But all right, Nate, why don't you go first? What have you seen since we last spoke to you?
Oh boy. Well, it's been a minute.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat here.
Yeah, let's start off with oh god, sorry, I just blanked for a second. Nobody Wants This. Kristen Bell and Adam Brody on Netflix. I believe a 10 episode series just came out like a month or two ago. Already got greenlit for a second season, which is awesome. For those who don't know what this is, brief overview is Kristen Bell and her sister have a podcast, lifestyle podcast. They talk about relationships, sex, all kinds of things. And then she gets into a relationship with Adam Brody's character, who is a rabbi. So it's fun, quick episodes. You can get through them pretty fast. But yeah, it's an interesting dynamic between the two of them and all the antics that play out. Adam Brody's brother, I love him in this too. He was in Veep. He was like the tall assistant. I can't remember his name, the actor's name. I could look it up.
It's not Tony Hale, is it?
No, it's not Tony Hale. Like, yeah, he's like the tall, not assistant. He's kind of, I don't know. He's in the political world with them, but I can't remember his name. But yeah, I'd highly recommend it. Excited to see what season 2 brings, because they kind of left it at a point to where I guess technically it could have been a one and done. I wouldn't have been happy about it. But I can see how they could have just left it where they did. So yeah, I'd highly recommend that one.
I always forget
your wife watched that one.
Yeah, my wife loved it actually. I don't know why I didn't watch with her, or when she even found time, to be honest. What is Adam Brody from? Like, wasn't he in like some show when we were like teenagers or something?
Yeah, because I had to look this up too. Like when I first started watching this, I was like, I know I recognize him from something, and I couldn't really place it. Well, the one thing that a lot of people know him from is the OC, but I never watched that. But then he was also in there's something else he was in that I've seen. Well, he was in The Promising Young Woman. He was, I think, one of kind of the fratty guys. I don't think he played the main character. He's
also in Jennifer's Body. I think he plays like the lead guitarist of the band who like possesses Megan Fox.
Yeah. And actually he was in American Fiction, which I really liked, but I don't remember who he played.
Yeah, definitely. He just has like one of those faces where you're like, oh yeah, you're in a lot of stuff, but I could never name anything specific that he's in.
Yeah, and it's kind of a fun modern take on Judaism, because their interactions are obviously not the most have the most like religious backing on them, just because of what she does and what the show is about, and their whole family is pretty funny, getting into it. So yeah.
Isn't his he's on like a pickup basketball team called the Matzo Ballers?
Matzo Ballers, yeah. Timothy Simons is his brother, plays Sasha. Is who I was looking for.
That's a really good fucking great basketball team name.
Matzo Ballers, yeah.
Yeah. So would you say it was more funny or romance? I got the more romance feel from the trailers.
I won't say more funny. Me and my wife were laughing, constantly at this, and Kristen Bell and Adam Brody, they have a really good back and forth. They seem to have really good chemistry on screen, and if you can get that with the main leads, then you've pretty much set yourself up for success.
I think I'll give it a poke, especially at least before season 2 comes out, which I think I have some time.
Yeah, if we get multiple seasons, I'm way more likely to check it out than if there's just a single season.
Yeah, you always need that like 25, 30-minute comedy in your back pocket to watch sometimes.
Definitely. And especially the way Netflix cancels stuff. If anything gets renewed now, you're like, oh, that must have been really good because you cancel everything.
Yeah. Exactly.
All right, Brian, what do you got?
All right, let's see here. I got all kinds of stuff. It's been a little while since I've been on pod here. Let's go with here's another Netflix original. This is a movie called Rebel Ridge. This is about a guy who ends up in kind of a rural small town trying to get his cousin out of jail. And he is a retired hand-to-hand combat training Marine. And he gets in a little tussle with the sheriff's department. Without giving too much away, it's like an action thriller, kind of crimey movie. Obviously, I think you can guess that the sheriff's department is corrupt in one form or another. And the action is different than like a typical action movie because he's hand-to-hand combat, right? So he does everything. He doesn't use a gun for anything. It's not like a shoot 'em up. He's just using crazy cool like jujitsu techniques and stuff to disarm people.
Does he do gun fu like John Wick where he'll like grab other people's guns and use them?
No, he doesn't fire a weapon at all, which I actually found kind of refreshing.
Is it like a matter of principle or he just like doesn't do it?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think that he doesn't do it out of principle, but I also think he doesn't do it because he doesn't have to because he has all these other skills. Biggest problem with this is that this is two movies, and this is like Josh Trank's Fantastic Four situation.
2 movies?
Where like there is a clear break in the middle, and you're like, okay, they're connected, but like these are very different feels, different tones, and where these are at. Like the beginning is really, really good. It's a thriller. It's how is he going to save his cousin? And then the second half is more action-y. How are we going to take down the bad guys? And they don't really do a very good job of meshing them together. There's a pretty hard line of, hey, this is when this story ends and this is when this story starts. I gave it a 6.
Are they in terms of like
6 out of 10?
Oh, jeez. Are they like time-wise like near each other, or is it like a literal Josh Trank Fantastic Four where it's like 4 years later?
No, it's not that bad. It is like 4 hours after the break is when the second part starts up. So it's a very continuous thing. Jeff, one thing you'll like is it happens over the course of like 3 or 4 days, maybe. So I know you're a big fan of like a weekend or a movie one night. So the timeline is fairly condensed.
Yeah, I like a condensed window for a movie.
Yeah.
I think it's a good way to help with the pace. 6.6 out of 10 though. I don't think you're gonna give me that.
No, especially for me. I'm a sucker for stupid action movies like this. There was a chase scene, not a great chase scene, if I'm gonna be honest with you.
Wow.
Yeah,
I might give this one a go. I think someone at work suggested this.
I think it's worth a go as long as you go into it knowing like this is a definite. You can take a break in the middle. Like, hey, let's watch it over dinner tonight. Watch the game after that, and then we'll watch the second half tomorrow.
Can I watch it all in one setting though?
I guess.
I don't know. Do you want to do that?
I mean, I don't suggest it, but whatever.
It's got Don Johnson in it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I mean the acting was good too. I mean it just that weird split in the middle just had this weird feel to it to me.
Yeah, that'll give you a little bit of whiplash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's worth throwing on.
What do you got, Horns?
Okay, I want to give a quick plug. I'm not going to talk about this because we did a whole movie commentary on it, but Cycly and I did a movie commentary on the cult horror classic, quote unquote, Slaughterhouse. I'm not mispronouncing that. It is a movie where a woman in a house adopts a pet sloth, and the sloth ends up going on a murderous rampage through the house.
Get the fuck out of here. That's not a thing.
I think we did this the same night that you guys did Psycho.
Thank God I got Psycho and not that piece of shit.
So this is on our channel now, Slaughterhouse. Check it out. It's streaming on Hulu currently. It's very interesting. Let me just say that it's the type of movie that Cycly and I like. We're fully prepared for what it is the entire time, and I don't know. I'll save our thoughts for the commentary. We'll go watch it along with us. It's obviously very short. I say obviously because anyone who makes a movie called Slaughterhouse, like you're not trying to make The Godfather Part 2.
How do you get murdered by a sloth? They're slow.
Are they?
They don't move. How does that? How do you get murdered by one?
Well, go watch the movie and listen to our commentary, and you'll find out, Brian. And you'll also find out the motivations. It's set at the backdrop of the sorority's House president election, and the sloth is definitely influencing the election as well.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, some have called it a political thriller.
Wow.
Some
Okay.
or you.
People are saying. One other one before I toss it back to Thurmond. I saw a movie at the recommendation of Cycly called It's What's Inside. Have any of you heard of this movie?
That was literally the next thing I was going to talk about.
Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. Okay. Let's go. I mean, I don't even know really if I could spoil it because I was so fucking confused for most of it. But I guess skip ahead like a minute if you haven't seen It's What's Inside. So
It's tough to explain or talk about it without spoiling, I think.
yeah,
Spoil
so
the fuck out of it. I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
So Nate, how would you describe the premise of it?
Oh man. Yeah, it's tough to kind of get into and like wrap it up in a short sentence, but it's a bunch of college friends getting together years later and reuniting, and they kind of hash through some issues.
Oh, so it's Bro Force Squad weekend.
Yeah,
Kind of.
and then
Just as much
the
drama,
twist.
I would say.
Yeah, one of the. I mean, it's like a. It's not horror really. It's like very light horror, but like thriller, slight mystery, kind of murder mystery-ish vibe to it as well. But it brought in a lot of new aspects. So this guy brings a thing in that his company is working on, and it's a game that he's going to play. And if we're just going to spoil everything, what actually happens is you hook everyone up to it. So there's 8 people, I think. It switches people's minds into other people's bodies.
The fuck?
And so the game then is
randomly.
you have to
So like
you have
they flip it on and flip it off, and like you know whose body you're in, but you don't know who's in whose.
yeah. So the
So you don't know who's in your body.
Correct.
yeah the initial premise
Whoa.
of the game is you have to figure out who's in whose body, and you're like, oh fuck, I think you did this, I think you're this person, you're in this body, and switching back and forth. But yeah, then it obviously takes a turn, and then I actually kind of like the twist at the end too. I didn't see it coming, and it was.
I'm super intrigued by this. This
it
sounds
was kinda
cool.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Banner, this isn't too much of a spoiler. I mean, it is like a crucial plot element, but not knowing who or what happens. But what really sets things off is one of the people dies.
Oh shit, in a different body.
Correct. So then they
Bingo.
have to figure out.
Whoa, so what happens then? You have
Correct. Well, that's where things get.
whoa.
They have to figure out like what do we do now that one of us is one of our bodies is dead, and then one of the people is dead. So
But
like,
my conscience isn't dead.
correct.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure this is.
So there's a dead person's body and a live person's brain.
So
Correct.
one person's brain is looking at their dead body on the ground.
God, that would fuck me up, man.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I'm
And
sure
for that they have
Go
to
ahead.
figure out like what do we do because we can't all go back in our bodies now because your body's dead.
Yeah. So I'm sure, yeah, this has been done at some point. I mean, Face Off kind of does something like this, but I'm sure something has been done like this in other movies, and I haven't seen it. But I thought it was pretty original, pretty unique. It kept me entertained. It obviously had its very confusing elements, but
Definitely.
people will get into other people's bodies and carry out their ulterior motives in their body, but with their mind, which gets
Oh shit!
kind
So
of
you could like
fun and
murder
tricky.
somebody in somebody else's body, but they would get in trouble and you
Yeah,
wouldn't.
it's like
Or
playing,
you could hook up with someone that you
or you
think
could
is-
lie and
yeah.
say you're a different person than you really are.
Bingo. Yeah.
Whoa.
I'm glad
the main,
Cycly saw this. I need to talk to him about it.
yeah, I think he'll have to come back on the pod at some point and discuss it with us. The main chick in it, well, I guess it's sort of an ensemble cast, but she is from White Lotus season 1. She's the girl who like starts hooking up with the guy who works at the resort. And
Oh,
then,
yeah.
Sydney Sweeney's friend.
yeah, Sydney Sweeney's friend, and then tries to get
Yeah.
him to rob like the main family.
Yeah.
I will say this, Nate. I feel like at the end it just went for like one too many twists.
It did. There was layer after layer. So I can get how that could be kind of off-putting, and it, like I said, I did like it. It did kind of seem out of left field though. It was just like, oh, we're just gonna insert this here at the end.
Yeah, it
They
didn't
did
really
it
add much to me, but it was
not
there.
too much. Yeah, it was just that extra layer added some more mystery to it. They didn't need to do it.
Where might
necessarily.
I watch this at?
Netflix.
It's a Netflix. Okay.
Hmm. I don't know if it's a Netflix original, but I think they like bought it from one of the like festivals.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I could be wrong.
The I don't know, main guy in it who brings the game. He had like a who's the Paul Dano vibes for me.
That's who he looks like.
Yeah.
God, I was trying to figure out the whole movie. Yeah,
Yeah,
he was
Paul
definitely
Dano.
like Splenda version of Paul Dano for sure. One weird thing about just like the premise of this is it's tough to judge the performances because think about how you would direct them. It's like, all right,
Yeah.
your character is in another character's body.
You almost have to learn multiple characters.
Yeah, it's really bizarre. And we don't
Yeah.
I think one of the other problems with this is we don't really know the characters well enough to when they are in the body swap. Like I don't it's just more confused. And there is this weird, like with the red lighting, like the visual thing they do to kind of tell you who's who.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But it was still kind of confusing for me because we don't know the characters well enough to like pick up on like little
pick up on their personalities and stuff.
Yeah. No, I thought that too. I was like, this is such like it kind of worked really well, I guess, like in a series. Because you'd have a lot longer time to develop like idiosyncrasies and like character I don't know, character whatever they're doing with their characters. But that was kind of difficult and frustrating part because as the audience, once they switch bodies, you yourself are trying to be like, oh fuck, who is this? I'm trying to guess, and like you just don't have enough evidence or enough background on them.
Is it an annoying trying to guess, or is it a fun trying to figure it out?
I thought it was fun, but then it's frustrating because you can't really fully get into it.
Yeah, I'm sure like on a second watch you'd pick up on more, but I'm also talking out of both sides of my mouth because the conceit, like the movie's not that long. I think it's like an hour 25 minutes.
No, that's cool.
And I also don't want them to like pussyfoot under the table for like an hour before they actually switch bodies. So you kind of have to get into the meat and potatoes of the concept. And just there's maybe there's too many characters. Isn't there like 8 of them?
That is the thing. Yeah, a lot of people. Yeah, I think 8 seems right. Yeah, 8 main characters.
Yeah, even if you whittled it down to like 6, I still think you would get like the tension and the confusion and the paranoia without. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm
like
always
the first switch was awesome. Like everyone freaking out, having no idea what the fuck is going on because, another kind of, well, not really spoiler, but they just go into it like with not knowing much about what the game is, and then it happens, and then they're like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Yeah.
So do they win something at the end of the game?
No.
I think it's whoever gets caught. Like once you get caught, like if they're like, "Oh, Banner, you're actually Thurman," then you're like out. But
I wouldn't get caught. I could be Thurman.
Right. So they play once and like nothing happens. It's just fun, and then when things get fucking crazy, it's like, hey, let's play a second time.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys want to golf and cook some good food?
Nate?
Oh wow, you nailed it.
That was fucking genius.
Yeah.
All right, it's good. What's inside.
I'm gonna have to check that out. That sounds
sure.
actually sounds really good.
Yeah, but definitely watch it with Brooke Banner because you're gonna need each other to like figure out who is who. You almost see like a notepad when you watch it.
Yeah, it's true.
You need to put one of those like pin boards up with the yarn.
With like the Charlie Day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, that would not be a bad idea.
Yeah.
Because it'd be cool. All right, Nate, what else did you watch?
Let's see. I'm gonna try and just cherry pick some of my favorites here. One of the ones I watched. I mean, it's probably been 3 or 4 weeks now, but I haven't talked about it on the pod yet. It is called The Spy. I don't think I've talked about this on here. It's a 2019 series on Netflix. I don't know. I think that's where it started. Yeah. But it has Sacha Baron Cohen in it, and it's the only
serious though, right?
Serious role I've seen him in. But it's based on a true story as well. It's based on what was it? He was an Israeli citizen that infiltrated the Syrian government in the 70s.
Whoa, this sounds
And
heavy.
like yeah. So I'm getting fuzzy on the details. But he gets drawn into it. Well, he's wanted to work for the uh, Israeli government for a long time and get into like basically what's their like special forces. Uh, I can't think of it off the top of my head, but he wants to get with them. Finally, does, and then they have a special assignment for him, and he infiltrates and like builds a life in Syria and gets into the government and gets in with the future president of Syria. And it's like a 3 or 4 or 5 year ordeal.
Jeez.
Wow.
That's
But
commitment.
man, he kills it. Like this is the only serious role I've seen him in, but it's fantastic.
One of those situations you're like, wow, I didn't know you could act.
Yeah, it's awesome. And so yeah, they get into that and him spending long times undercover and then coming back to real life and coping with that, and dealing with the persona that he's now created and has to live under, through the threat.
Is it one of those deals where like
dying.
you're undercover for so long you like the lines blur? You're like, I don't even know where I am.
Oh, for sure. 100%. But yeah,
I
it's
can
a
relate to
fascinating
that.
story.
No, you can't.
No, you can't.
No, I can't.
But yeah, it's really great. One of the guys, Emmerich, what's his name? Something. He was in The Americans. He's in it as well.
Is it the neighbor in The Americans?
Yes.
That guy,
who
he's in
plays
like Miracle, and he's in
the FBI agent.
what's the Jim Carrey movie where he's like in the reality show.
Truman
Show.
The Truman
Yeah.
Show.
But yeah, I
Great
highly
character.
recommend this one. Yeah, he does a really great job. I didn't know he had these kind of serious acting chops, but I mean, it probably comes with the territory as much as he's done with all of his other characters. He can get into shit however he needs to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, The Spy.
The Spy.
Netflix. Yeah, true story. So I won't. I mean, you can look up how it ends and everything, but I won't spoil anything if you guys want to go watch it.
I'll have to check that out. And Netflix is weird with like they'll take their kind of like Max is worse than Netflix, where they like take their stuff off randomly and they'll bring like even their originals and then they'll just like bring
Max
them back.
will have it on there and then 12 hours later take it off and then another 12 hours later put it back on.
They've got weird cycles.
It's bizarre, and I think it's to like drive interest or demand, and it kind of works, but it's just so fucking annoying. Like for a while, The Sopranos wasn't on Max. People were like, "Why?"
Oh, your original show that basically springboarded everything after?
Right. Like, why are you ripping that away from us? You're sick.
Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, that's all I got for now. I'll just wrap it up with that one.
Cool. All right, Banner, what do you got?
All right, I'm gonna plug something. We already talked about it a little bit before, but Psycho. Me and Thurman did a commentary on it. Check that out. If you've never seen it, it's a fantastic movie. If you have seen it, definitely go back and watch it. And check out our commentary on it.
Thurman, correct me if I'm wrong. Over the past couple years, you've been going back through like a lot of the Hitchcock ones, right? Like, didn't you watch Strangers on a Train, and then did you watch Birds, or was there another one that you?
Strangers on a Train. We've seen. I don't know if this is Hitchcock, but kind of in the same ilk. The Man Who Knew Too Much. To Catch a Thief. Charades. Those are some good like '60s with Cary Grant, Audrey Hepburn.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's actually not.
Love
Does
Cary Grant.
Max have a lot of the Turner Classic Movies, or is there a different streaming service I need?
That
no,
one
I think that's Max, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Max has the Turner TCM, and that's where you can find a lot of them. But yeah, actually, to that credit, I'll plug one more. Bell, Book, and Candles, another good one that I watched recently with Jimmy Stewart and Kim Novak in it.
Ooh, nice. Love Jimmy Stewart.
It's a fun one. Kim Novak actually plays a witch. She kind of puts a spell on Jimmy Stewart, and there's some other. She has a brother and like an aunt who's a witch too, and they live like in a city somewhere, New York City. But
it's a comedy, or is it like
it's a fun romance comedy,
like Bewitched style kind of?
Yeah, you get a ton of those vibes. 1958 is when it came out. But yeah, Bell, Book, and Candle. It's a fun one. It kind of missed the Halloween season, but it's a good one to watch around Halloween.
Bell? I've never even heard of that, but
yeah, I just randomly found it.
Was Jimmy Stewart in like 100 movies? Like, my God.
Oh yeah,
Probably.
Yeah.
Like I think back then, if you made a movie and didn't at least call him and offer him a part, you could be
yeah. Him or
liable.
Cary Grant, you had to at least shoot your shot with him.
Otherwise, you would be tried in the court
Yeah.
of law.
Okay, that's it for now. Now I'm wrapped up.
All right, Banner. What else?
All right, here's another action thriller. I believe this is another Netflix one, Land of Bad. I believe I nominated this one for a Brosker. If not, let's go ahead and throw that bad girl on the list.
I'll do it right now.
This is just a classic trap behind enemy lines movie. Liam Hemsworth and Russell Crowe is in this.
Yeah. Okay,
And,
so I saw this, and the reason I stayed away was Liam Hemsworth, and then I thought this was one of those Russell Crowe like VOD trash movies. But if you actually say it was solid, then I will give it a chance.
So the action was good. Russell Crowe is like a drone operator, and he's communicating with the guys on the ground during an operation. This happens in the first like 15 minutes, but obviously Liam Hemsworth's entire team gets killed. His brother, not Chris. What's the other one? Ashley
Luke.
Hemsworth.
Luke
Hemsworth. Why do I want to call him Ashley? I always want to call him Ashley.
from O-Town. Is that who you're thinking of?
Maybe. I don't
Ashley
know.
Parker Angel.
Anyway, he's in this as well. He's part of the team, which was pretty cool to see him and his brother acting together. But his whole team gets done. They're dead, and it's just him and Russell Crowe basically talking over a radio to each other. It's solid. It's definitely solid. I will admit I hated Russell Crowe's character at the beginning of the movie, but by the end, I get it. I get him.
Okay.
You understand him?
Yeah, you understand him, and you. I don't want to say like, oh my God, he did so good, but like, yeah, he is fine. But I liked it. I thought it was good.
Russell Crowe every once in a while still has his fastball, man. That movie Unhinged that came out a few years ago, where he's like the guy with road rage. He was awesome in that.
Okay, I haven't seen that one.
Yeah.
Now,
This is Fat Russell Crowe. So that's cool. He almost looks like Fat John Goodman, which the whole time was a little distracting, but also cracking me up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, John Goodman isn't as intimidating as Russell Crowe in my head, but I guess put enough blubber on him. Yeah, they work. They're interchangeable.
I'm just saying, like, if those like big dog shirts were still a thing, he would have had to get the biggest size.
Ah.
Are those not still a thing? No.
I haven't seen one in probably 20 years, so.
I can't believe you made that reference. On a show that makes a lot of weird references, a big dog shirt was, plus 18,000 probably on Bovada.
Yep. Hope you took the over. I did.
0.5 big dog shirt references. Okay, do you have anything else, Banner?
I could, but no, that's I'm good.
Okay, I just have one last thing, and then we can briefly talk about Agatha All Along, and then we can wrap things up here.
I don't know if it's gonna be brief, but
yeah, that's true. So I watched Beetlejuice. I watched it from my local library. Now, before I do that, let me just quickly preface. I went back because I think Nate Thurman obviously knows this, but a lot of our friends had been watching Beetlejuice because of the Halloween season, going back and revisiting it. This was a movie that as a kid I remember loving and really like kind of my first gateway into Tim Burton, even before I saw the Batman movies. And I was just really obsessed with it. And then I remember watching the animated show. I went back and rewatched the OG Beetlejuice, and guys, it's
not as good.
No.
Not as good.
I watched it for the first time ever last month.
What were your thoughts?
It was weird. I mean, it was entertaining, but like the pacing was weird, and just I don't know, it like rushed through everything, and then all of a sudden it's like over. I'm like, what just happened?
Yeah, and Beetlejuice doesn't show up, I think, till like the 44-minute mark.
Yeah, it takes a while to get him.
And I totally forget. It's weird as a kid. Some things you just like completely gloss over. Like, it is a really fucking depressing premise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, they die.
This couple dies in a car
crash.
accident. And the whole point is they don't want their home where they were going to have a baby in to be like lived in by this family, so they're trying to scare them out.
But then they become friends with them.
Yeah. Well, the second one I really enjoyed. It was
Nice.
close to getting a
Good.
Oscar for Best Picture for me. I just couldn't justify it quite when I looked at the list that we had. But I had a fucking blast with this. We get Beetlejuice early. We get Beetlejuice often. The ancillary characters are great. Willem Dafoe plays a character who is a cop in the underworld because in
Oh,
his
nice.
real life he was an actor who played a cop in a movie.
That's awesome.
Solid.
So that's
I
like
like
the
that.
justification.
How's
And
Jenna Ortega in it?
she was good, but to be honest, like the movie, even though like she's a central point of the plot, she's actually not asked to do that much in terms of like acting in it.
Okay.
The premise centers around Beetlejuice. Back in the day when he was alive as a person, you get a little bit of his like human backstory. He
Oh,
was
wow.
married to a woman played by Monica Bellucci, and she was like this psycho like succubus who was trying to like drain people's life force. And so he like divorced her when he, as he says, when I found out she was a crazy bitch. And now in the afterlife, she has been awakened and she wants to kill Beetlejuice for basically breaking up with her. So he is like trying to help Jenna Ortega's character as well as running from his ex-wife who's trying to kill him, which is just pretty funny in and of
Okay.
itself.
I'm in. I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah.
I just couldn't make it happen this year.
Yeah, I mean,
It's a good Thanksgiving movie too, right?
Sure, man.
no, it is not. It is not. But I really, really liked Beetlejuice way more than the first Beetlejuice, which I'm glad I revisited because in my head, I moved this one way down on my all-time movies list. I would say top 100 list. It wasn't anywhere near that, but it dropped a couple hundred spots after I
Wow.
rewatched.
Yeah, I think I changed mine from a 7.5 to like a 7.
Yeah, wow, jeez, I just totally misremembered it. And Nate seeing it for the first time, I'm sure you had just been hearing from everyone how fucking great it is, and were you like, what are you guys talking about?
Yeah, it didn't really do it for me. Yeah, just I think, like you said, we don't see Beetlejuice for the longest time, and that's what the movie's
I
called.
literally forgot like it was the movie Beetlejuice. I was like, oh, it's like these people die, and then he shows up. Nice.
The one caveat was that Michael Keaton was way raunchier, and that part was funny than I thought was going to be in the movie. Him doing like the jack off motion at one point, basically trying to grab Gina Davis's boobs the whole time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Which
And
I didn't know. I didn't know that was in it.
No.
So that was like surprising to me. I was like, oh, that's kind of funny. And
Dude, my mom let me watch that movie
yeah.
on repeat. I'm like, Mom, did you not fucking realize what any of this stuff was?
And that's the thing, because I know like everyone our age has seen it like 20 years ago. I'm like, oh, so it's not too bad. I'm like, no, there's some racy references.
I think what it is that parents are like, well, I want to watch this, and like they're not going to know what that is at that age anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
So you can
Yeah.
justify it that way.
Well, another weird thing though, they turned it into a kids cartoon that I think ran 2 seasons that I remember watching. So as far as like IP goes, that's kind of a weird choice because it is so crude and raunchy to be like, let's make a child's cartoon out of this.
Yeah, but back then, that era, that what we had, like Ren and Stimpy and Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah.
Like, I never watched the show, so maybe it wasn't quite on that level. But
yeah, I don't remember. Obviously, I didn't realize it at the time, but I don't remember it being like as it played like Saturday morning cartoons, so I'm sure it wasn't like a Ren and Stimpy or Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah, I vaguely remember that. Yeah.
All right, do you guys have anything else, or do you want to go into Agatha All Along?
Let's move it along.
yeah, let's do Agatha All Along.
All right, so
the
full
Witch's Road.
spoilers for Agatha All Along. You're about to go down the Witch's Road, which, by the way, that song is an absolute fucking banger.
Fucking banger, man.
Yeah, that's an earworm for sure.
So I guess before we dive into it, where do we all feel about the MCU Disney Plus shows? I know we've done reviews on several of them, and I think to say it's a mixed bag, at least for me, almost isn't even fair because I'm a huge MCU head, as we all know, and I think I've only liked like 2 or 3 of the 10 or 11 series, and I've seen them all. So Nate, we'll go to you first. MCU TV on Disney Plus. What are your like overall thoughts going into Agatha All Along?
Going into it, it's kind of a mixed bag, and I didn't know what we were gonna get. Since it was referenced and tied into WandaVision, which I liked, I had a lot of promise for it. But once we got into it, and I know Horns, I think I talked to you about this off pod sometime, but this is like one of the shows that I haven't felt in a while, but like I was craving the next episode.
Yes.
Like I wanted to watch it. Like
Yeah.
sometimes, like I'll enjoy shows, but still, it kind of feels like a hassle sometimes to just sit down and watch it. Maybe it's like an hour or so long. Like, okay, I want to get through it. I do like it. This is the one I had no problem with that. I was yearning for that next episode. Catherine Hahn in this, she like
God,
goes to a
steals
next
the
level.
fucking show.
I'm just gonna say that she goes like
Yeah.
to a next level I've never seen her at.
She
And
has
it's
so much fun as this
incredible.
character, and I have fun
Yeah.
watching her have fun.
Yeah, she finally
She is the
developed
only
into it,
reason that I'm excited for the future of whatever this thread they're pulling is.
Yeah.
I think
She
to
looks
Nate's point,
pretty hot in it too. So
yes, she does.
Yeah.
To Nate's point, the testament for me on like how much I like a show is when a new episode drops, how long does it take me to go in and watch it?
Yeah.
Yep.
And with this one, it was usually, and this isn't even to avoid spoilers, it was usually like that night that I would go in and give it a poke.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think
No, very
in
good.
hindsight, the only two Disney Plus shows that I've like actually enjoyed MCU wise are WandaVision and Hawkeye.
Okay.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier was decent, but you guys know how I felt about Moon Knight and She-Hulk.
Yeah.
Secret Invasion, I actually think I'm more of a fan than most people, but it was not good. I can admit that. So it's been rough.
Yeah.
Did you watch Echo?
I did. Echo was fine.
It was fine. Yeah,
Little
that
tag.
was.
So Banner, how about you? What were your thoughts going into Agatha?
So going into it, I did have high expectations, kind of similar to Thurman, because of it was WandaVision and Catherine Hahn did so fucking good in WandaVision.
Yeah.
I was excited for her to actually get some meat on the bone and explore this character. So I was really excited for it. I thought it was going to be good. As far as like comparing it to the rest of the MCU shows, I think I'm in the same boat as you guys. I think WandaVision is probably by far the best. And Hawkeye is by far the second best. And then after that, it's just kind of like
The big gap, I think.
yeah, huge gap. I think Secret Invasion probably goes third, and then everything else just it doesn't fucking matter. I think Falcon and the Winter Soldier kind of got a bad cards or got kind of dealt a bad hand of cards because of what the original premise was going to be, and then when COVID happened, they had to switch everything up. So that really hurt it. I think if they were able to stick with the original plan, it would have been a lot stronger. Moon
I'm
Knight
glad
was
John Walker's coming back in Thunderbolts, though.
Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, he was. The character development they did in that show is great. The story itself was bad. So it's kind of a weird phenomena. But
Okay,
as
well,
far as
this-
Agatha All Along, this is. Fuck, this might be the best one out of all of them, guys.
Yeah, so the framing device, first off, do we think Multiverse of Madness is required viewing for this? I really don't, even though it references Wanda's death. Just knowing that she's dead, I think, is all you really need to know, right?
I agree.
Yeah,
100%.
I don't think it's that important.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think it's
But to me-
required.
First off, The Witch's Road, like Thurman said, complete earworm, absolute banger. And I've actually seen just on YouTube, the cast has done several like live performances on talk shows and stuff, and you can tell they are having just the time of their fucking lives performing this thing, which is cool. But the framing device of In the Witch's Road, each challenge, like being isolated to a house, having a task for them, and then having like a theme to it, almost like a costume party, I thought was so fucking cool. And I gotta say, they abandoned that premise just before it got like worn out, which was also really, really smart. Because if they would have done like 9 episodes like that, it would have been kind of exhausting. But I think it stopped around like episode 5 or 6 once the Wiccan storyline comes into play. And I just thought it was an incredible pivot that was also done really organically. Nate, what did you think?
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of funny that they may have drawn some inspiration off WandaVision, where they went through the different decades.
Literally
and-
took the words out of my mouth.
Yeah, and the different TV show aspects. But yeah, they did a great job of that. And like you said, they didn't beat a dead horse. They gave you just enough to enjoy it, and it was functional. It went along with the plot. You had plot point A. Hey, we're doing this. We're at this place. Cool. We go to B. We go to C. We go to D, and it moved along nicely. And yeah, I think just overall it was So well done. And yeah, Catherine Hahn found like a new gear on this one. If we got a taste of it in WandaVision, we got like a full cup's worth in this one, and more. Um, she was all over the place in a good way with the emotions and the acting and what she could do with it. She could play sweet, she could play sour, she could play hateful as hell. She had all of it wrapped up as she needed to in this role. I can't like honestly, I don't want to shit on the other people in the cast or the ensemble, but like
No,
she
she
stole
acted
it from me.
circles
Like I
around
just
them.
focused on her so much in this show. I focused on her so much.
Yeah, I'll backtrack a little bit. They did back to like the theming and everything with the house and different decades. They did a fantastic job of transitioning us from WandaVision in that, hey, we're changing the setting and like the theme every week to, okay, now this is Agatha All Along, and we don't have to do that anymore.
Mhm.
They brought us from the one show where we were introduced to her into this very, very beautifully. Catherine Hahn acted circles around people, especially the kid that played Wiccan. I thought he was god awful, and
I thought he was good when he was like the angsty, like dickhead teen in the beginning.
yeah,
Yeah.
but once he
Once they
became
revealed the-
Wiccan, I was like, this is not believable.
I agree with that. Yeah.
And I think he did way better when he was acting with just him and Catherine Hahn. When it was him and some of the other actresses, he wasn't as strong.
Yeah, she brought out like a better side in him than
Yes, that is for sure. This was again. I think this is the best MCU show. I don't think you need to know anything else about the MCU to enjoy this.
I mean, I think you need a little background.
Yeah, and mainly because in the beginning, knowing why her powers are stripped, but a lot of the backstory with her son was cool to get. We had Nicholas Scratch referenced briefly, I believe, in WandaVision, but we didn't know the context of like who he was.
Yeah.
What'd you guys think about them bringing Ralph Boner back?
I mean,
I
I like
reference to him.
Yeah, I like Evan Peters. I like the reference. I'm still never gonna get over how bullshit that was.
I just like that he was like this conspiracy theory guy that knew everything.
Yeah.
Like I thought that was a way to like almost redeem the character, other than the fact his name was Ralph Boner.
Well, and the fact that they literally bait and switched us that it was Quicksilver.
Yes.
From the Foxverse.
Yeah.
That was just really cheap.
Yeah, I mean, Banner, to your point, saying I don't think you need like a ton of background in the MCU. I know, like Horns was saying, like watching the Multiverse of Madness. I don't think that's super important, but someone did ask me at work. They were going to watch Agatha, but someone they were going to watch it with hadn't seen WandaVision, and I was like, I feel like you kind of need to watch
that to yourself.
Yeah, I was like, I feel like you kind of need to watch WandaVision in order to get everything out of this.
Yeah, I agree.
So where this ends,
yes,
they're basically looking for Speed reincarnated. I don't love the idea that like Wanda's kid. I mean, it kind of makes sense going from Multiverse of Madness where she was tearing apart every reality looking for them, that now their souls, like if their souls are in this world, could we get a Wanda from another universe that comes over to be with them?
Yeah.
It's kind of an interesting idea for Secret Wars. But where do you think about where this leaves off? Because I do think like for Agatha's arc, seeing the backstory with her and her son, that feels pretty wrapped up to me, and I feel pretty happy with that. Kind of like Banner said, I'm just not as interested in Wiccan as a character as I am with Agatha. So like if a season 2 of this show is like a her and Wiccan like road trip concept, but I care way more about Agatha than him, and I kind of don't give a fuck if like he's a focal point of it.
Yeah, especially as her as a ghost now, if that's how it's gonna play out the whole time.
Let me throw something crazy out at you guys here. And I don't know, I'm gonna preface this. I don't know Agatha's like source material at all.
Well, I will say that she's a pretty small character in the comics, so they've already expanded like exponentially on that. So I don't think that is really material to what's going to happen here. Mainly, I think like Thurman said, Catherine Hahn, the way she's taken to the role, they're like, dude, fuck the comics. We just need to give her more to do.
Yeah.
Okay. That is going to make this even way easier to sell you guys. What if the season 2 they make this is them trying to find Tommy, but the entire time Agatha has an ulterior motive that if she can accomplish something, she can get her body back. And so the entire time she's trying to still that manipulative person that we've known and that character that we've known, she's trying to manipulate Wiccan to get her body back.
I mean, I'm pretty sold. That would break my heart after the last exchange they had, but that would also be very on brand for Agatha.
Yeah. I could see that. I mean, make for a good story. Because yeah, like you guys were saying, going into season 2, I'll obviously watch it, but after seeing season 1, I just don't think it can live up to my expectations now for that. With where they've set this up and like what the plot and storyline looks like. So if they can throw something in like that, that'd be great, which is plausible, I feel.
Yeah, it'll be tough. I think your idea, Banner, is pretty brilliant. I would love it. But I think one thing I love so much about this season was the concept of the Witch's Road and like the different trial each episode was just so badass. Like that was just so fucking sick. And then, like I said, they got away from it before it really got tired. So a season 2, really in any like different framing device, I would just already be a little less interested in. But I do love the character of Agatha enough to where that conceit actually kind of has me interested. Catherine Hahn has teased that she's going to be in other stuff, which I don't think any of us are surprised by. But now it's like, I wonder when and where. I'd love to see her pop up in a movie, obviously.
Dude, that'd be nice.
She's just great.
I think she is probably other than Robert Downey Jr., she is the person that embodies her character the best.
Yeah. Well, in the comics,
MCU character, which is even more amazing because she has so little source material to go off of.
Yeah. I think if you're at this point in the MCU, pretty much every like major character has, except for a lot of the mutants, has been like portrayed at some point. So I feel like actors almost, when they get these like smaller characters, there's more for them to like have a license to do, which is where it's an agency to do, which might almost be more fun than picking like a more established character.
Yeah, it's like Dakota Johnson and Madam Web.
That is exactly what it is like.
Yep. She was just able to run with it, you know?
Yeah, definitely. After her mother was killed at Amazon researching spiders.
Sorry, I just threw up in my mouth a little.
Check out our Madam Web commentary. It's a thing.
We're the worst thing on the internet.
Yeah. All right. Any last thoughts on Agatha All Along? Or do we just need to go sing The Witch's Road?
Yeah, that's it. That's it for me. I've spoke my piece.
Bruh? You have a lip, bruh?
That parrot noise brings us to the last part of our show. Do you even lift, bruh? Question and answer segment where we pose a question that we leave you guys with. The question today is, what are the bros' top 100 movies of all time? We begin our countdown. It is linked in the description of this episode. So where we are left off is we're going to toss it over to Nate Thurman in just a second. But before we do that, Brian, how would you describe to our listeners what these lists are? Because as we always say, this is not like a film student's top 100 greatest pieces of cinema of all time. It's a little bit of a different type of list.
This is our top 100 movies. There are movies, especially on my top 100, that should not sniff a top 1,000 list of any movie, but it holds a special place in my heart. Or honestly, I just have a lot of fun with it for whatever reason. It is my top 100. Horns has one. It was the first DVD he ever got.
Yeah, Rush Hour 2.
Yeah. So these are very personal movies to us that are tied to an emotion or just because we fucking can. And that's how Jumanji got on my top 100 list.
The Rock Jumanji.
Yeah, not the good one.
Yeah. All right, so tonight we're going to let Nate Thurman do 2 or 3, whatever he's in the mood for, of his top 100 list. And if you look at the list I sent over, and you don't even have to do this, the last one Nate counted down was his number 43 movie of all time, which is a very underrated comedy in my opinion, and that is Horrible Bosses. Banner's number 43 was Wonder Woman, and mine was Crazy Stupid Love. So, Nate,
See
what
how,
is your...
again, real quick, vastly different lists.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So continue.
That's the beauty of it. And so now, Nate, we can move on to your number 42 movie of all time. Banner's was Iron Man 2, which, again, I think is criminally underrated. And mine was a movie that I'm about to watch here in the next couple of weeks, All I Want for Christmas. So, Nate, what will join our two movies at number 42 on your list?
Number 42 is one of the Harry Potter installations. The fourth, The Goblet of Fire.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Discuss.
Yeah, that one comes in at number 4. So obviously ran through all the books on this and a huge Potterhead. And this movie, so Prisoner of Azkaban right before starts getting a little darker. You start seeing some themes shift. And then it takes it just a little step further in the fourth one. You have a little more presence of Voldemort. You have Cedric Diggory's death. The stakes get very much higher, and I think they frame that well. And I mean, this is just a credit to the book with the tournament, the Triwizard Tournament. The stakes get high. You're literally dealing with dragons.
Like, we're not little kids anymore.
No. So this is, like I said, 3 Prisoner of Azkaban is kind of where you start seeing that shift. And then 4, it just takes a step further. Man, I think there's a complete tone shift, and you can kind of pinpoint it on really one scene, the graveyard scene in this movie. And it's fantastic. It does a lot for the whole development of the series, of that movie, setting the tone for the others going forward. So I think it has a really pivotal role in all that. And yeah, this is one that I could just watch over and over, like independent of itself, just because of how good it is.
I think one of the great things about these movies is, like you said, because it's one thing to do it in a book, I feel like, but to have the movies sort of grow in maturity and tone with the characters and the audience is pretty impressive. How well they executed it. Yeah,
they did well with it. But I know Banner probably has some thoughts too.
Yeah, as far as watching this one over and over again, no. But I agree with everything. I agree with everything you say about what this movie is. Again, the acting in this is bad in a good way, because they're these weird, angsty teenagers that are basically forced to go on a date and ask people to a dance, and it's so awkward. And
for sure, yeah,
they do that. Granted, they're of that age, so it probably wasn't that hard to do, but it just embodies that. Okay, we're starting to grow up. Again, Prisoner of Azkaban set the table for this one to say, all right, we're going to catapult you to the dark movies at the end. And this is that bridge.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Is this the fourth or fifth?
This is the fourth one.
This is the fourth one.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I acting was not mentioned at one point. So
I know.
It's not the best. And to your credit, it's not great.
It's not good, but it works in a way.
Agree, the cast, and this was going to be part of the game with casting them so young. Daniel Radcliffe is not a good actor for the first half of this series.
No.
Grows and develops into one.
Oh, for sure.
Emma Watson is probably the most equipped of all of them throughout, but even she really
had her weaknesses.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, even still in this one. Man, the fifth.
It can't all be Alan Rickman, you know?
No. The Order of the Phoenix, I think, would, as far as acting, I think that's where it kind of has a shift as far as the younger actors really developing into it. Yeah, this one's still the adults kind of carry it for this one. But we get the introduction of Mad Eye Moody, which is great. Yeah, Alan Rickman obviously carries.
Isn't Mad Eye Moody our boy from Banshees of Inisherin?
Yeah.
What's his name?
God, I always Gleason. Yeah. I was like, I don't want to look it up. I can figure it out. Number 42 for me.
Nice. Can I ask, do you have other ones higher than this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Ooh, nice.
Good.
All right. Speaking of higher than this, let's move on to number 41 for Nate. It will be joining The Mummy from 1999 for Banner. Great inclusion. And then for me, I have the Bill Murray comedy Groundhog Day at number 41.
Nice.
So Nate, what will be joining them as your number 41 movie of all time?
41. I can't remember if someone has already mentioned this one. If not, I'm sure there's gonna be some higher than me as well. But Home Alone is coming at 41.
Much higher, for me, but yes.
Yeah. I figured this is gonna be pretty high on some people's list. I mean, this was just this was so integral into our growing up and our Christmas movie time watching experiences. And there's so much you could relate to at that time, and then so many ideas and things where your mind could go as far as him setting up all the traps and things. And I think a lot of deep rooted, maybe I don't want to say dark thoughts, but everyone had those things. Oh, what if I died like as a kid? Like, what would my parents think? Or like you get into that like mindset, or like, what if they left me alone? And so like this fueled that for you as a kid, and you're like, oh shit, like it's like living out this weird.
When he's eating the like 36 scoop ice cream sundae, you're like, you know what? This is not.
There's obviously those like funny, lighthearted moments, but then it like feeds this like dark fantasy in your head as far as you like being left alone and like having to fend for yourself and doing whatever you want. And
I made my family disappear.
Guy
always brings up a good point. He's like, the movies of this ilk in like the 90s gave us a really like false sense of reality because we thought as kids we could beat the shit out of adults if we needed to.
Yeah, and I feel like this is the unattainable model of a woman in the media. This is unattainable experience of a 10-year-old kid. You can't beat up
that is a great
this.
analogy.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's unrealistic expectations.
There we go. And that's what I was looking for. Unrealistic expectations. Yeah. And it's feeding us as 10-year-olds that we can do this. No, you can't. This is the media propagating us.
Isn't there some movie where
I loved it.
A guy breaks into a house and a kid puts down like a Hot Wheels car and the guy just walks over. He goes, "What the fuck is this? Home Alone?" I feel like that's in a movie that we've seen recently.
I'm sure that's in a movie.
That's hilarious.
And he like laughs at the kid. He's like, "What the fuck is this gonna do?" He like stomps on the cars and like goes and like beats the shit out of him. But yeah, as a kid, I was like, dude, if you just set out Hot Wheel cars or marbles, you're good, bro. An adult will slip on those.
You're golden. Yeah, golden. But yeah, it just fed into a lot of young kids' fantasies and. But yeah,
you're right. It absolutely shaped my childhood, and I'm glad you brought it up now because it's about that time of year. This is, I think, for most of us, and it's an annual watch around the holiday season.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure.
I'd throw it on.
Yeah.
Our commentary for this one is a classic because we had to record it twice, not because of a technical error. We were that drunk on the first one, and we went back and listened to it, and we were like, "Yeah, we can't post this."
There was you couldn't even understand what we were saying. I mean, I knew because I was there, which made it really funny for me.
That's awesome.
For the Bro Force squad to be like, "Yeah, we're too hammered on this one. Can't post it." You know,
those are the early days too.
Oh yeah, that was like month 3 of the podcast, I think.
It's the Wild West.
All right, Nate, can we convince you to do one more?
Come on, do it.
Yeah,
peer pressure.
Yeah, I've already got it.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
We'll end at Nate's number 40 movie of all time, which, I mean, we have already kind of been in this territory, but now shit is getting real. Like, your top 40 movies of all time, we've been alive 36 plus years. This is not a fucking joke. It will join, for Brian Banner at number 40, the original Sam Raimi Spider-Man from 2002. And for me, the Gareth Edwards, directed Rogue One, a Star Wars story.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, and I just have to read this just to show you how different these lists are. Cycles is a movie called Der Untergang, which translates to Downfall, which is a movie about the fall of Hitler and the Nazi regime. So that joins Spider-Man.
Wow. Okay,
what are we doing?
I might have to look that one up.
What are you going to set alongside Der Untergang?
I actually remember he said Thurman would love this. So
I'm looking it up. I'm probably going to watch this now.
Now, give us your number 40 movie.
It's not the movie that like famous Hitler clip is from, right? Where like everyone edits it into like a complaint about like their favorite sports team.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
You know the clip, all right?
Yeah, I know the one you're talking about. Gas him,
Uh,
and I don't think it is.
I'm trying to think. Well, I'm pretty sure I had. What was the? Oh, The Great Dictator was number 79, I think, on my list. Which that was a Charlie Chaplin spoof, but um, of Hitler.
Yeah, you a lot of Hitler themes here. You have Jojo Rabbit at 48,
Great
and of course
movie.
Wally at 49. Very Hitler-centric, Hitler themes.
You know, if you know your stuff, you can see the themes behind the curtains. Yeah, for sure.
It's not even
Number
so
you say
subtle.
no,
Number 40,
number
yeah.
40. Oh, cool. Honestly, well, when I put this list together, it was here after. I mean, I've rewatched it a few
Oh, we got some
times since I put
movement.
this list. I haven't moved it. I probably should at some point.
Up
Because
or down?
I love this movie so much. It's Hell or High Water.
Hell yeah.
Um,
I'm actually,
2006.
if you would have made me bet over or under 40, under being like closer to 1 for you, I would have bet under before this.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like this, I should honestly probably move this at some point. Because God, as I watch it more and more, like I was actually thinking about this earlier tonight. Stop laughing. I know Banner. I begged Banner to watch this, and he won't watch it.
Is
He
sure you
has
don't
my
love it?
copy, I think.
Snake.
Anyway, yeah, I was thinking about this earlier today. I was like, oh, I should watch it. We started watching another movie, but maybe this week I might watch this again because I love it so much. Now, as opposed to The Goblet of Fire, the acting in this is phenomenal, and they cast these roles so great. Chris Pine, Ben Foster, brothers, Robin Banks.
What is
For a
it
good,
set?
like modern day.
Okay, so it is like contemporary. All right.
So it's like it's probably my favorite modern day Western. But they're robbing banks for a good purpose, especially in Chris Pine's character's mind. Ben Foster, who's I think just a wheels off person in general, is wheels off in this movie as well.
So is it kind of like The Town, where it's like one brother is sort of unhinged and the other one has
Yes.
like a little more level-headed? Okay.
Yeah. So it's kind of a yin and a yang there, trying to balance each other out. And then Jeff Bridges and Gil Birmingham playing, I think, Texas Rangers who are trying to track them down. This is another one that's.
Is this based on a true story?
I don't know. It's not. That'd be cool if it was, though.
I was about to Matthew McConaughey. It'd be a lot cooler if it was.
Yeah. It'd be a lot cooler if you did. Set in West Texas, which is cool. Living in Texas, they're like saying names of towns. I don't live near them, but still hearing about them. And it's kind of set. I don't know the exact time frame, but it's probably set within 72 hours, maybe 4 days. Everything happens so quick. Yeah, it's pretty quick.
Making the sale right here.
Yeah, it's a pretty quick succession of like events that happen, and they're trying
to
hit
these.
these.
A heist movie.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, it's got a little bit of everything. It's got
the way I'm envisioning it, and maybe it's just because Horns mentioned The Town, but it's The Town but Western.
Yeah, kind of. Definitely heist. They're robbing banks. They have car chase scenes. They've got shootouts. They've got slower moments where you're just sitting out there in West Texas at a cafe, two guys talking with their southern drawls, and it's fun moments. But man, it's so well acted. Some of the best acting, honestly, that I've ever seen, in my opinion. Like I said, they cast these so well, and each character fits in so well. It's amazing. It's probably, I need to move it up on my list eventually after we get through this, because I'll probably watch it again this week sometime.
All right, I might watch this tomorrow, but
Man, it's so fun.
I'm on Real Good, the app where it like tells you what something's streaming on,
Mm-hmm.
and on that they have reviews as well. And I'm really curious here. One of the reviews, which was actually written November 11th, so pretty recently, says, all it says is, they say it at 48 minutes and 28 seconds. So now I want to start the movie and be like, what do they say at 48 minutes, 28 seconds?
Yeah, that's the sell right there.
Oh, it's the name of the movie.
Oh. That makes sense. And then the second one, a woman named Miranda Lyons wrote this, and this is sad, but it's also so true. She goes, great movie. Kept me off my phone the whole time.
I mean, yes, that is sad.
But it's also like,
that,
holy shit, that's pretty good.
it's sad that that's a good benchmark for a great movie.
Especially like if you're at home, we're all busting out our fucking phone a few times.
Yeah, and it's even sadder that I relate and I can understand that. I'm like, oh,
Well,
damn.
yeah, I mean, that's a very practical way to articulate how good the film was.
Yeah. Yeah,
Thank
man.
you,
So good. Yeah, and yeah, I mean, I don't even know who to like pick out has the best acting performance in this. I would say probably Ben Foster or Jeff Bridges. Chris Pine is great in it. He kind of is the keystone for everybody, holding everyone together. But yeah, Bridges or Ben Foster probably my favorite acting performance.
You put Ben Foster in a Western and just something in him activates. It's like
instant. He just is Western.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, you can already guess another movie that's up ahead of this for me. So
yeah, that one. I think at a certain point we should start taking guesses on other people's lists because that one I think for Thurman might be like very back of the top 10.
Yeah,
if not a little bit higher.
Yeah.
All right, great one to end on.
Good stuff.
I'm gonna set the over/under at movies in Thurman's top 100 that he has begged me to watch over the years that for some reason I just have never done.
Well, at what point is he just given up? Like,
I mean, I've got 3 off the top of my head that I know. So,
how many of them do you still have his Blu-ray of that you haven't given back?
I'll set the over/under.
Right?
I'll set the over/under at 2 on that. I'm pretty sure I have Inglourious Bastards also.
Did he ever give you Shawshank back?
No, he still has Shawshank and
I definitely have Shawshank.
Yeah, which now it's kind of like convoluted because like I don't buy DVDs or Blu-rays anymore. But those are some of the ones that I had.
Well, and
now it's symbolic.
Squatter's right. It's like he's had it long enough now. I think it's illegal.
God damn it, you're right.
I've legit had Shawshank for 12 years. I'm not even kidding.
No, I'm shocked it's not more than that. I mean, we were in college like 18 years ago. We're so fucking old.
Mm-hmm.
Not really, but close. Yeah. All right, before we leave, guys, we have a sponsor now here on the Bro Force Squad podcast. Who knows how long it'll last till they realize we're fucking idiots and like, yeah, you know what? Actually, let's not do this anymore. But it's a website called buyblacket.com, BUYBLACKETT.com. There's a link in the description here, and if you click it, you get 15% off anything you buy from the website. They have a lot of apparel. A lot of it is beer-centric, so that just naturally speaks to us.
Perfect.
So if you're looking for a cool Christmas gift for the beer drinker or the bro in your life, click the link. Might as well save 15% while you're at it. They got a ton of shit, like mugs, shirts, hats. You name it, they got it. Pretty cool website.
Yeah.
All right, so jump on it. Before we let the people go for episode 231, Nate, any closing words of wisdom for our listeners?
Words of wisdom, probably not. But just words in general, also no.
Perfect. Less is more.
Yeah, that's what.
Painter, how about you?
I have 2 things that I need to just get off my chest. One, let's not forget to pull over for emergency vehicles, guys. There's been an improvement here recently that I've seen. We've seen some good stoppage at intersections. Everybody freeze. Let the emergency vehicles get through. I'm proud of you.
Good.
But we can pull over a little bit faster. Okay. So let's just keep that up. And secondly, I just want to make sure everybody remembers that I beat Thurman at Jeopardy tonight.
Come from behind win also.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. I was nervous there for a little while.
I wanted to disparage his win, but it was legit. What can I do?
Now you got to figure out what to make him watch or let him watch. Because Nate almost took it as like a reward last year for cycling. I don't know if he'll be as kind. We'll see.
No, he won't.
Probably not.
My advice, guys, when you go get your haircut, let's make smart decisions. It's not permanent, but it's going to last you, 3 to 5 weeks. I'm getting my haircut this weekend, and the idea of me doing the rooster mohawk with the teal blue streaks, I've been talked out of by people.
Bet you won't.
Oh, God damn it! Don't say that. If I ask my stylist, do they even have like the capability to do that there?
There's only one way to find out.
Yeah, that's true. Damn it. What if I didn't show up to work? Like, what's wrong with my hair? What do you mean? I don't get it. So just be smart up there at the barber shop, especially if you're an adult. We're not fucking kids anymore. No Nike swooshes on the side of your head. All right, for the American hero Nate Thurmond and the mad scientist Brian Banner, I'm the mayor Jeff Hornacek, and we are the Bro 4 Squad podcast. Thank you guys so much for checking us out. Follow us on Twitter, Threads, and Instagram at Bro 4 Squad. We're on Letterboxd, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, YouTube, anywhere you find your podcast. If you type in Bro Force Squad as 3 separate words, and our squad blog with all the stuff we've watched lately, and pretty much everything we've ever done in our life is on our website, bro4squad.com. Till next time, we'll see you pulling over for emergency vehicles.
With nice haircuts.
Right. Prudent, adult, mature haircuts.
Fine tight.
While not saying anything.
Well, not. Thank you for tying all of our comments into
Wow. It's one connected universe here.